Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my current favorite eyeshadow palettes. I recently did like a declutter and I got rid of a ton of makeup, stuff that I just didn't wear anymore. And I was going through, and while I love some things, I was like, I've touched this, palette or blush like a handful of times. And I was like, no, I'm not holding on to stuff just for the sake of holding on to stuff. So these are the final eyeshadow palettes that made the cut, and the ones that I just didn't want to part with, or I use a lot, or I know I'll be using a lot in the future. So let's start with some of the oldest ones in here that have been around kind of the longest. None are too old, but the Sephora I Love palette. This is the light warm palette. And I believe it's under $15. It is such a good eyeshadow palette. In fact, I am doing, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I decided to do like a 30 days of makeup. So I decided to do like a different makeup look every day, which, let's be honest, they're all pretty much the same because all of my tones of my makeup are the same. But I just wanted to use literally a different combo of products every day. And I wanted to dig deep into which is why I did my declutter, because I was doing this series and I was like, well, I don't really use this anymore, But it was fun because I got to pull out products I haven't used in a while that I decided to keep and kind of rediscover my love for them. So one of them was this palette, and I was like, oh, I forgot how much I love this palette. And for the price point, it's so good. I had to check to see if they still made it. I was like, oh, they do. That's amazing. Next is, the NYX. This is the Warm Neutrals palette. I mean, look how many colors there are. I mean, there are so many colors in this palette, and I still really, really love this palette, and it's so affordable, and the quality is amazing. And especially for the amount of, how many are there? There's 16 colors. So highly recommend that one. Both of these are super affordable. Then the Tartelette in Bloom palette. I will forever love, love, love this palette. It is just, it's a classic for me. In fact, somebody asked me, I did a Q&A on Instagram, and someone was like, if you could only use one makeup brand, what makeup brand would you use? And surprisingly, I said Tarte. Because I love something from every category, with the exception of mascara. I haven't tried all their mascaras. I don't have one that I'm obsessed with, but foundation, check. Love their foundations. Concealer, check. Love their concealers. Eyeshadow palettes, yes. I don't have any brow stuff from them or mascara that I love, but that's okay. Bronzer, yes. Blush, yes. Powder, yes. Lip products, yes. I mean, I love, and I'm talking holy grail products, that I love something from every category. So Tarte would be my pick. So In Bloom is one of my faves. Another fave is, and I think they still make this, the Lid Laugh Love palette. That name just kills me. In Dream. Oh, I know so many of you picked this up after I shared it, and I love it because there's this one's really warm, and then this one's kind of cool, and then this one's definitely more brown. I don't know, there's just so much in here, and I like that it's kind of compact, and it's great for travel. Really, really love that one. Okay, this is an old favorite, and this I will never part with because I still use it. Still love it. Natasha Denona Glam palette. It is the ultimate neutral palette. True. I mean, there are some warm shades, there are some cool shades, matte, shimmer. It is the best, truly. And for the price point, I know some of her palettes are quite expensive. This one I believe is under $70, and it's, if you are a neutral eyeshadow lover, and you're that's all I wear, that's all I want to wear. And you know what I love about this? There's no wild card shades. Every single color in this is something I would wear and something that I would love. So this palette, I'll probably be using this forever. And then after that, I will repurchase it. So love that one. Okay, where is, oh, this one. I rediscovered my love because I forgot, how dare I, Tom Ford Nude Dip. Just such a good quad. It's all kind of like shimmery, but the texture is perfection. The look on the eyes is perfection. Tom Ford is way too expensive. I mean, listen, I obviously, like, I love luxury beauty and pricier beauty products and that sort of thing. But I will say, I did buy this and I did love the Rose Topaz and I spent money on it because the reality is, like, it is expensive. I wish he would lower the price. For the price point, I do think it's pricey. You know, I would get the Natasha Denona palette before I would get this. If you're deciding and you're like, I'm going to pull the trigger. I want to get something. I want to splurge, but because you'll get more shadows with the Natasha Denona. The texture is amazing, but I mean, it's not life-changing. I mean, the thing is, you'll have a beautiful eye look with other palettes. That being said, I love it. I do love it. I think he's gone a little crazy with his pricing, especially considering like the Chanel one. And I'm pulling this out. It is a favorite. I know it's discontinued. I keep trying to post every time I see it back in stock, but it looks like it's gone. So that's devastating. The 747 Mediterranean from the spring collection. But this one was $68. I can like swallow that a little bit more. We talked about before that Tom Ford is a larger palette, you know, in weight and everything. But like I said before, like, when do I ever hit pan on a lot of my palettes? So weight to me is like, whatever. But I can swallow the price point of the Chanel. The Tom Ford, it's, you know, I definitely think he could like drop it like $10 and he wouldn't be hurting for income. But anyway, that's beyond the point. And Rose Topaz, the new one, as I'm like going on about how it's too expensive Tom Ford is. But as you can see, I only have 2 of his quads. I mean, it has been really hard for me. And also because of what I do, obviously I'm going to like try more things. I have a feeling like if I didn't do this, I probably would have like the Glam palette and like a Tarte palette and call it a day and just like rotate those. But obviously I test things or review them for a living. But I'm not going to be buying 10 Tom Ford palettes just to review, because at the end of the day, I will not wear them. And I just cannot justify that price point in such a large quantity. So these are the only 2 I purchased in years and years and years. I felt this one was a great one. It is beautiful. It's a cream texture. It's odd. It's an odd cream texture, I will say, because it feels kind of powdery. I will say when you first touch it, it feels like powder. But the deeper you dig, you can tell that it's a cream. It's beautiful. The formula is really beautiful, and it blends like a powder rather than like a cream, which I like. Sometimes creams, I don't know. I do like to blend like a powder eyeshadow, and this one blends like a powder, but it is a cream. The Nude Dip, the texture, it feels like a cream, though it's a powder. Anyway, they're both beautiful, and that's it. Those are my must-have eyeshadow palettes, the ones that I will not be parting with, that I would repurchase, that I plan to repurchase if I ever hit pan on them. But I may someday hit pan on them, but I don't anticipate anytime soon, especially because I'm always like, oh, there's a new eyeshadow palette that I want to review. Anyway, would love to know what your favorite eyeshadow palettes are. Neutrals, of course. And I will link everything that I talked about down below. And be sure to head over to Instagram and check out my 30 days of makeup reels that I'm doing. I'm doing it in reels because it's quick. I can edit it together. It's under a minute. You don't have to sit through like a long spiel of me talking. It's just quick. It has music to it. And yeah, so it's a really fun series that I'm doing. A lot of people have given me great feedback on it. And I will talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.